All right, hey guys, welcome to another Mods Weekly Rundown. Let me get the stream pulled up here now that I've started. Good. Okay, so this week should be a nice short update. There's not a whole lot to go over, kind of like last week. I imagine as we move into the holiday season here at the end of the year, there's just not going to be a whole lot going on. That said, we did have some fairly big updates this week, so or at least updates to some very important mods, one of them being a large update. So let's start off by taking a look at what the major updates for this week are, things that you may want to go ahead and download the updates for. So yet another legendary mech. This had a minor update to it where he was fixing a couple things. Shifted the DLC 7 legend, which I'm not even sure what it is. I don't know if it says anywhere. Anyways, that was, I guess, shifted to another location, apparently. And then the Red Reaper 1 and 2 Black Knight legendaries had some minor fixes to their skins and bolt-ons, I guess. So nothing major there, but, you know, probably still worth grabbing that update. Von Biomes. This was a pretty big one. Let's go ahead and go to his website where we can look at all the information on it. So, if you were watching my co-op stream on Thursday, he was in there and gave a little preview of what was coming up with this update. So, Von Biomes update, this is version, well, I thought it said right here. Anyways, maybe if I scroll up, I don't know. But I believe this is the completed version 24. Yeah, version 24 is finally done. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at it. It's I know it's on here. So this is for version 24992. That's what I was looking for. Basically what this does, this finishes off the update to the compatibility with DLC 7. So that is, or more so the update 1, game update 1 for DLC 7. I believe that's where most of the stuff broke. But anyways, this is the final update that addresses a lot of the stuff that needed to be addressed from that breaking. This mainly deals with lighting, I believe. I think there's light extensions were dealt with there, so there's a lot with that. Volumetric clouds, fog, that kind of stuff. New biome, we did get a new biome. No, Savannah, we already had that. So it is a new biome, but it was in some of the earlier versions that have been released recently, I believe. New underwater water. So there's that. I think that stuff was in previous versions of this as well. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention about this is we do also have, one second. Okay, we do also have a new preview mod. So this is currently a standalone mod. It's not going to stay that way. It will be integrated into Von Biomes. So this will become part of Von Biomes. But right now it's not 100% ready to be integrated in Von Biomes. So he's kind of rolling out a preview version as a standalone mod. Actually, I don't know if I should call it a standalone because I think you do need to have Von Biomes alongside it. Not 100% on that. In any case, as a separate mod, so Von Planets, this is going to add kind of like what you see here. So your view from the Leopard of planets and stuff, the orbital view, will now have other drop ships and things in that view, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's pretty cool. It definitely helps with the immersion stuff. So if you like that, you probably want to pick it up, check it out, let him know what you think. You know, right now, I imagine you can still, or he can still make changes to it fairly easily since it is a standalone mod at this point. Probably doesn't make a big difference one way or the other. But anyways, go ahead and test it out. Let him know if there's any bugs or things that you would suggest changing. That's about it. You can read about the next steps here if you're interested. Sorry, I got a hair or something itching my nose. So I want to talk about that. That's a pretty big update, important to download because it does contain a lot of the final fixes, patch fixes from the first patch after the DLC. So Zatara Super Heavy Mechs, I wanted to mention this, added Super Heavy pilot trait. So if you are playing with Super Heavy Mechs from Zatara Super Heavy mod, now you will have pilot traits for Super Heavies, or a pilot trait for Super Heavies in there. So that's really cool. If you're using Super Heavies, which why else would you have this mod. There you go. Pick up the update and you'll be able to get pilot trait for it. So that covers the major updates for this week. Let's go over kind of everything else that happened this week as far as mods. So we got an update to cockpit glass. This is an oldie and a goldie. A lot of people like this mod. It does fix some of the issues that you might have with cockpit glass. Check it out. It's a pretty good mod. Liked the update. I think I didn't really actually look to see what the update did. I think it was mostly just compatibility stuff with the latest patch. Yeah, for the latest version. So there you go. Simple Trails, we've talked about that one before. That had an update this week. Oh, oops, all bug fixes traits edition. Pilot traits in the game are bugged and this mod fixes them so they all apply properly. Haven't really looked into this, but from the sound of it, this is something we are probably all going to want to pick up if this is indeed what it says. Not required with YAML. So if you're not using YAML, you probably want to use this. If you are using YAML, it will be integrated with YAML, so you won't need to download this one separately. There you go. Free Worlds League requirements, regiments, not requirements. Free Worlds League regiments logos. There's been a few other of the logos mods recently, so now we got one for Free Worlds League. Adjustable weapons, I've talked about that one before. We did get an update for it. Let's see what that did real quick. Fixed alternate missile paths not applying on mission start. Fixed interactions with yaw settings. This mod now overrides them for all weapons in the config file. So there you go. I guess using it alongside yet another weapon now works a little bit better. Tactical HUD. I was thinking this came out last week. I thought I had already talked about it, but it says the release date on it is the 17th, and the last stream was on the 16th. So let's talk about this one real quick, although I feel like I did, but I don't know. Anyways, it's got a bunch of different HUD options for you. Personally, I'm using Von HUD, so it's not a big deal for me, but if you're not using Von HUD and you would like to enhance your HUD layout a little bit, this looks like a pretty cool option. It does have separate, you can use separate layouts for clan mechs and inner sphere mechs and all that kind of stuff. So actually really cool. If I wasn't already using Von HUD, I would probably use this. You do have the option of using the bars instead of the paper doll for both your mech, Lance mechs. It is also cool that it just automatically puts the your friendly Lance mechs down here at the bottom, kind of all in a row, so you have everything in a row. It does move your battle map up here, battle grid, up to the top left corner. Not a big deal though, since you got your Lance down here. It looks really well done and polished. So honestly, I would check it out for sure if I wasn't already using a HUD mod that I am happy with, but it looks really well done. I like it, and I like the different options you have for you know, your reticle setup or whatever. Kind of like Von HUD. Von HUD also has different reticles. This one's not actually the reticles, it's whatever you call the HUD element around the reticle. But yeah, check that out. Looks pretty cool. Oh, I did want to see what the update was, because I hadn't looked at that one yet. Allowing 6 saved mod option presets. That's nice. Panel trim color. I kind of wish Von HUD had something like that. That would be cool. Added option toggle panel backgrounds between transparent and solid. That's kind of cool. Move target objects UI down more. Battle grid now opens in the top right corner. So not left anymore. Now it's in top right. Capped the speed indicator to max speed. Okay. Anyways, compatibility with advanced zoom as well. That was in the last version. It seems like a lot of versions, but for only being out 6 days. Let's see. Capellan Confederation Regiments logos. There's more logos for you. Von Biomes, we talked about. Extended negotiations. I've mentioned this one before. It got an update this week. Brian Cash. Did he add a new mech? General cleanup. Remove DLC 6 and DLC 7 campaign overrides. Camo patterns. Turkina added smoke jaguar shroud pattern. So no, nothing major there. Minor updates. If you're using it, probably want to pick it up though. TA balance mod, I talked about that one last time. It had an update. Cockpit VR had another update. I think they are continuing to add more mechs to the list of cockpits available. So now you got all these: Shadowcat, Vulture, Madcat, Manowar, Masakari, Stone Rhino, and Timberwolf from YAML. Or you got another legendary mech, sorry. So yeah, pretty cool. I still need to check out the game in VR. I don't know. I haven't gotten around to it. At some point, I will get around to playing it in VR because that just sounds really cool to me. Zatara had an update. Let's see what he did with this. Minor fix. Weapon mounts on the Vindicator. Then we have Garrison's Revamp. This is a new mod this week. And this week I didn't break out new mods versus updates because there's so few of them. What's the point? we did that last week and it was such a short list for new mods. It was kind of pointless. But this is a new mod. Right? I say that. It's actually not a new mod. This is an update. I just have not seen it before, at least not that I remember. So, anyways, update to an older mod from earlier this year. Pretty interesting though. Revamps garrisons. I don't know if this works alongside coyotes. It is only affecting a vanilla mission type, so I don't see where he mentions compatibilities. So the game will point. Nothing to worry about with coyotes overriding it. So yeah, you're fine to use it with coyotes. So if you're interested, it's pretty cool. Just makes garrisons a little bit different. Check it out. All right. I think that pretty much does it for everything we need to cover as far as updates and new mods this week. If you have questions, let me know. I'll go ahead and show you what we're using as usual for the end of the stream. What I and we for the co-op are currently using for our mods loadout. Again, if you're not familiar, this is the MW5 mods organizer. Am I saying that right? Yes, mod organizer. It's available on Nexus. Go grab it if you need it. Basically, this is, let me make sure I'm on the right one here. Co-op. Okay, so if you're wondering what we're using right now for our co-op mods, there you go. Co-op mods. And then they should all be in default load order. Always use default load order unless you have a very specific reason not to. 420 on yet another quirks. I like that. DLC 7. So right now I need to add a couple more mods to this list, but this is more or less what I will be. No, it's not. I gotta turn that on. No longer need enhanced academies. So enhanced academies, we don't need to use this because the features in it, at least the one that I was going for, which is the ability to remove traits from pilots, is, from what I'm told, integrated into Pilot Overhaul Eternal. So if you're using Pilot Overhaul Eternal, you don't need enhanced academies. Even more advanced starts, I will likely be using that one. Sorry, I clicked on one of them. That's why it's showing a bunch of stuff in red. Better mission choices I will probably be using just because it makes it easier. I like using that to increase the number of missions that we can find at each planet. And we might actually start using that one for co-op as well, because I noticed in our last co-op stream, we were having a little bit of trouble finding the right mission difficulty, right? Or at least having plenty of options in the right difficulty range. That's basically what this mod is for. So probably going to end up using that. And then yet another revamped quirks. Hasn't been updated since DLC 7, but it doesn't really need to be if you're using the quirks only version. If you're using the equipment as well, it's going to break things. But if you're using quirks only, so far we've been using it just fine. Now the new clan mechs from DLC 7 will not have any quirks from this mod. Obviously, it hasn't been updated since then. So be aware of that. I'm hoping somebody does kind of a revived version of that or something. Because that was a really nice mod. That one and the weapons version. So anyways, that's pretty much it. I am considering adding, I haven't tested it yet, so I'm not 100%, but I think I want to go ahead and add Disembark. It's a mod that is not on Nexus. It's in YAML, or the YAML Discord. You can find a link to it there. I mentioned it in a previous live stream, so I think I even showed it on Nexus in that stream. I don't remember when it was. It was a month or so ago. I think I'm going to add it because it sounds like a pretty cool mod, especially if it continues to be worked on and updated. But we'll see. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. And other than that, I think this is pretty much the mod list that I'm going to be using for the new season. Some of you have been asking about it, wondering when that's coming out, looking forward to it. I am too. Unfortunately, I have not had a chance to record a episode. I know I say that every week. It's just a really busy time of year for me trying to get everything done before the holidays. You know, a lot of stuff to do with work and all that sort of thing. This week, though, I should have some time to work on it because I won't be working. It's going to be a short work week. And then I'll have some time off. So I'm really hoping that sometime this week I will get at least a couple episodes, the first couple episodes recorded for the new season, single player season. And I'll start getting episodes of that out for everybody. So things to look forward to should be coming soon. I apologize it's taking so long to get started with the new playthrough. Things come up, you know. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention while we're on it. As far as mods go, I don't think there was really anything that anybody brought up from last time that I wanted to mention this time, so no real points of news there. Doesn't look like we have any questions in the chat, so I'm going to go and end the stream there. I'm going to go take care of some things that, like I was saying, busy time of year. Y'all have a good one, and I will see you hopefully next week for the mods weekly rundown. But also, we may still end up having a co-op stream this week. Maybe a 20% chance of that happening, but it could happen. I know there was talk about maybe doing it on Wednesday or something instead, since Thursday is Thanksgiving for those of us in the US. We'll see. Probably not going to happen, but there is a chance that we might actually end up doing a co-op stream this week. So just keep an eye out for that in case we do end up doing that. Otherwise, I'll see you next Sunday, hopefully for the next Mods Weekly Rundown. Y'all have a great holiday week if you're in the US.